Our moms didn't have podcasts telling them to lift weights, eat enough protein, or prioritize sleep. They were too busy taking care of everyone else. But now, as women in our 30s, I can't help but wonder, how do we age differently? And what can we learn from them? Today's episode is extra special because I'm not doing it alone. I have one of my favorite humans, Chelsea, here with me. And we're going to chat about our moms, what we've learned from them, and how that's shaping the way we think about health and aging. Chelsea, welcome to the Third Spring.
Hey,
I am
everyone.
so excited for today.
Thanks for having me. I'm Chelsea.
Before we jump in, can you share a little bit about yourself so everyone gets to know you?
Yeah, of course. So originally, I was planning to introduce myself as Evey's one of Evey's partner in pushing our life boundary. But since today we will be talking about our moms, right? So I also want to share with everyone that I recently, actually not recently anymore, I moved to Singapore from Taiwan around 3 years ago for a new job opportunity, and currently me and my mom are in long distance relationship as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I cannot imagine it has been 3 years since you moved to Singapore.
Same. Time flies.
What's one fun fact about you that your mom would definitely bring up at a family dinner?
Well, I think it depends on which stage in my life as well. When I was little, she always bragged about how good my English is. Now, when looking back, I feel a bit embarrassed as well.
Oh, come on. She totally had the right to brag about your English.
Yeah.
For context, everyone who is listening, Chelsea and I go way back. We met at work, but our friendship really solidified on a staircase. I think we found out by chance that we were both into hiking, and we decided to hike Mount Kinabalu together. It was a big deal for me then because Mount Kinabalu, for those who didn't know, is 4,000 meter plus high. And it was sort of my first proper hiking trip. Had never really done anything like it before. I was worried about my fitness and altitude sickness. And so to prepare for it, the two of us started training by climbing the staircase at the Pinnacle at Duxton, which is a 50-story high HDB building in Singapore. So as we climbed up and down to kill time, we just talked a lot, right? We talked a lot. And honestly, I think we had some of our best conversations there. Chelsea, what's one conversation from that time that still sticks with you?
I have to be honest, it's not really one specific topic that we talk about that stands out and I still remember. It's more of how we discuss things. Because we really talk about a lot, our memory from the childhood or the people or situation in our life now, our partner, family, or friendship with others, right? So, sometimes having casual conversation can stay on the surface level or just becoming ranting about things. But when we have this kind of conversation, although very tough because we were doing cardio at the same time, but it's always very nice that we can share our feelings toward things and really trying to see them from each other's perspective. So instead of one single topic, it's more of everything we talk. Sometimes it just give me the feeling like something just clicked.
Right.
Yeah. But how about you? Is there any specific thing that you still remember until now?
Yeah, we totally had so many good conversations while climbing the staircase. One of the conversations that really stuck with me was us comparing our experience growing up, your experience growing up in Taiwan, with my experience growing up in Vietnam. There are a lot of similarities, and then of course at the same time, there are a lot of cultural differences in the way that we grew up as well. And those conversations really stayed with me. Just curious, what's something you've picked up from your mom? Let's say a habit or a phrase that you catch yourself doing now.
Okay, so I only realized this when folding my boyfriend's laundry. So I fold underwear into these tiny squares. This is exactly what my mom does. And I just realized that not everyone will fold underwear in the same way. And also I will lay socks flat and tuck them into one another.
How did you find out that nobody else was doing it this way?
My partner is not folding his laundry in the same way. That's how I found out. Because usually my mom does my laundry and fold my clothes. So, moving to Singapore is the first time I really need to do all these things by myself. Yeah.
It reminds me, something that I also realized I picked up from my mom was also something related to housework.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So apparently people have been telling me that when I stand in the kitchen, I have the same standing posture as my mom.
Oh, you know what? I was also told that from the back, right? If you look at my mom and I walking on the street, we look identical. The way we walk are the same.
Oh, okay, so I guess it's not something unique to just me. It's a daughter mother thing.
Yeah, because we learn how to walk, how to stand, and everything from our moms, right?
My dad usually can tell who is coming downstairs based on our footsteps, and he always says that my footstep and my mom's footstep are very similar. It's just another thing that we picked up from our mom.
Interesting.
What is the most mom thing your mom still does today?
I think she still nags me about taking bath earlier and go to bed earlier.
Oh my God, that's exactly the same thing that my mom has been telling me. The other day when I called her and I still had my wet hair, and she was sort of nagging me about taking a shower that late at night. And how would you describe your mom's personality in 3 words?
I don't really have 3 words, but I do have 2. So tough looking, but soft hearted. So she looks exactly like the strictest teacher you can have in school. But she is really a sweetheart, and she gets touched very easily. Even by watching TV commercial, she will burst into tears.
Do you have like a story that you don't mind sharing?
Wow, I cannot think of like a story at the moment.
Was she ever really strict with you?
No, she just looks strict. Like, she also have this resting beach face like I do. Yeah, another thing that we are similar. Yeah.
For my mom, she was, how would I describe her? I would say she's a tough lady. Definitely had a lot of love in her heart as well. Someone who is very resilient. I guess similar to tough, but yeah, these are the 3 things that sort of came to my mind when I had to describe her. So she would scold me a lot as I was growing up. It's like a form of tough love. Yeah, but I think eventually, as I grew older, I also realized that it really came from a place of love. Like many Asian parents do.
Yeah, that's true.
How old was your mom when she had you?
I think she was around 35. Yeah, 35, 36.
So by the time that you became a teenager, she's probably in her mid-40s, late 40s. When you think of your mom in her 30s to 40s, which is really our age now, what's the first memory or image that pops up?
I think the first thing I can think of her image, or something I remember, is she standing by the window and iron our clothes. And she was wearing this super thick black frame glasses, and she used to have super long hair as well that she usually tied into a ponytail. But then she cut it off because I like to play with her hair too much. And that annoyed her.
Wow. For me, when she was in her 30s, I was probably like anywhere from like 5-6 years old, or like early teenage years. Thinking back to those times, the first image that came to my mind is my mom giving me a lift everywhere. So back then, my dad had pretty long working hours. So he usually couldn't take me and my brother to school. So it was really my mom's responsibility mainly. And then she would try to take advantage of every breaks that she had to take me to tuition classes and to school and from school. So yeah, the first image that came to my mind is really just my mom on her motorbike. With me sitting behind. Yeah, she rode motorbike. Yeah, and giving me a lift in the middle of really sunny summer days. Yeah, traveling really long distances so I could get to class.
Wow.
Yeah, so our images of our moms are both images of her taking care of the family.
Yeah.
What's one thing about your mom's lifestyle back then that you wish she'd done differently? Maybe for her own health or happiness.
To be honest, consider her age back then, actually her generation. She used to have all this very cool passion, and she almost become a yoga teacher.
Almost became a yoga teacher.
But then soon after she had my brother, she gave it up. She kind of like paused, put all her dream aside and just to take care of us. So I really wish she didn't give up on pursuing that career path, becoming a yoga teacher. She would be much more happier.
So before she had your brother, she was trying to become a yoga teacher.
That was one of her interests, hobby back then. Yeah.
What was she working as a full-time job?
And she didn't really have a full-time job back then, and but she do want to pursue either becoming a florist or a yoga teacher. And I think she was doing quite okay for the yoga teacher route.
What was the main reason for her decision not to pursue?
So she actually got married quite late. And by the time, actually both my mom and dad got married quite late. So by the time they got married, they still faced this pressure of having kids faster and earlier. And that was her main focus back then, just trying to get next generation. And after she was pregnant, I think my granddad prefer if she can just stay home and take care of herself and also us. Yeah.
Do you think she would have been happier if she had pursued her career as a yoga teacher?
I think that it will at least give her more perspective in life. So her focus wouldn't be just on us and also the family, but also she can do something for herself. She got to see the world. She got to meet different people. Yeah.
I feel like there's a story here. Has she had too much focus on the family such that it affects you in a certain way?
I don't know. I think I'm just comparing myself and my mom, right? Because from my dad, he always say that we share quite similar personality. Because I consider myself as putting myself first always. I will always prioritize my own desire. I have so many things I want to pursue in my life. If my mom and I are really that similar, right? I believe there's also a lot that she wants to do. And she sometimes also share like what she wanted to become when she was younger. But then I just feel like she have been putting off so many. Yeah, and stop pursuing all that.
Yeah, that's definitely an insightful take. There's definitely a generational difference between how our moms prioritize families and careers, as well as personal goals, versus the way that we think about it. For me, I had a similar thought, because from my mom, she had a pretty good career prospect working in one department at the company she was working at when she was in her 30s. But after she started having kids, so like my brother and me, she wanted to move to a different department that would allow her more flexibility to take care of the family, especially since my dad had long working hours. So she moved to a department that has more flexibility, but probably has less career progression prospects. And it's also a type of role that is not entirely suitable for her. So she ended up doing sales in her new department, and she stuck with that for decades. Decades after she had that decision. And it was totally not a decision that she enjoyed. I still remember when I was much older, and by then she was in her late 40s, early 50s. She didn't really enjoy her work as much. She had a lot of pressure to meet sales target, and there are a lot of difficulties in general at work. And she always wished to retire early. I wish that she could have chosen a career path that would benefit her more.
Yeah. When we were little, happy mom equals to happy life as well, right?
Oh, that's true. That's true. Sometimes some of the work pressure that our parents had would be brought back to home.
Right.
Yeah. And I think for my mom as well, because of her work pressure and still a lot of household responsibilities to take care of, I really don't think back then she had any time to take care of her health or her fitness. And it was not a very common thing back in the days as well. I didn't remember a lot of ladies my mom's age back then who would exercise regularly.
Neither in Taiwan back in that generation.
What were some of the fitness activities that were popular back then?
I don't even recall. I think when my mom was younger, right, before she got married, she did told me that she was quite into this disco, roller skating, something like a club thing. And it used to be quite popular among younger generation, in her generation. Yeah, but aside from that, I don't recall hearing anything from like what kind of activity was popular among ladies. Maybe for boys, they like to play baseball. Baseball is a huge thing in Taiwan, or basketball, but usually not for ladies.
Your mom wanted to become a yoga teacher, but she didn't become one eventually. But did she still practice yoga at home?
Not anymore. Ever since she had us, yeah.
That's such a pity.
Right?
Do you think the way that we are living in our 30s now will affect how we age compared to our moms?
Yeah, of course. I think aside from the fact that we have way more access to information online, I think our generation just leave a so much wider circle. It's a lot easier for us to meet people and got inspired to live a healthier lifestyle. And compared to our mom's time, we have more control over our life as well. We are tend to put ourselves first and actually take better care of us.
I totally agree with you. I think access to information is one of the big differences. Like nowadays we have so many sources of information, podcasts, books, news articles, like information about women's health or just general health and wellness in general is everywhere. And I think awareness is key to really taking actions, right? I don't think back in the days women like our moms had the same awareness of what they needed to do at that age in order to live well and in order to age well. You know, a lot of times old age is like a topic that seems very far away. And I think even up until recently, I had always thought that as young people, we got to enjoy good health until we got older, and that's just the reality of life. And when we got old, just like my grandparents, our health would deteriorate and we would need to rely on our children or grandchildren to take care of us. And that was the mindset that I think my parents had.
Yeah, more passive.
Yeah. Like it's just how life is for them. So besides access of information, I think the other one is definitely priorities as well as expectations, societal expectations on women's role in the family. I think my mom and your mom as well also made a lot of decisions to really prioritize what the family needed more over what she needed. For my family, I think my mom took up a bigger portion of household responsibilities.
Same as our family.
Do you think that was because of like an arrangement that your parents discussed and came to?
I think it's more of the like being influenced by the society back then. It appeared to be normal when the dad work outside and mom taking care of the household. Yeah. And for your mom, it's even harder for her, right? Because she's not just a housewife; she also work.
Yes, so she had a full-time job, and then at the same time, she was also supposed to take care of the house, of the family. Then she wouldn't have any time left for herself.
Right.
I still remember when I was a kid, her company actually had this award for working moms. So basically, you can win an award for being sort of like a good worker, as well as a good mom. And I used to think that it was a pretty cool award and was proud of my mom for winning such an award. And now that I'm older, thinking back, right, it's kind of like societal conditioning. It is sort of an expectation that working mothers do well at work and at home.
Right. It's basically like celebrating people putting everyone else in front of themselves.
Yeah, never thought about how sinister it could be. So just now we talked about access to information and also expectations of women's role in the family. Beyond that, I also think that there were a lot of stigmas, and there are still stigma around certain types of training. Most of the time, the kind of activities that were acceptable back then are like aerobic exercises, where people would just do a lot of dance movements to a fast beat songs.
Oh, okay.
So we call it aerobic exercises. So it's probably increase the heart rate a little bit, maybe to like zone 3. Resistance training or weightlifting or working out with resistance bands.
It's a very new thing, I think.
It was a very new thing.
It's in our generation, not our moms.
I think weightlifting back in the days probably sounded like something only athletes would do. Now our moms are already in their 60s. If you were to think back, when did you first notice them start to age?
I think the first time I really noticed was kind of funny. So my mom used to make me this kind of herbal soup with Chinese medicine in it. And there was one time I didn't finish, so she drank the rest. And the next day she was complaining about her period was coming back to life. And apparently she was actually has been 3 months into menopause. And that magical Chinese medicine brought her period back. And she was quite annoyed about this because she actually kind of enjoyed like having menopause because it's convenient for her. And that's actually the first time that it really hits me like, wow, yeah, my mom is really entering that stage of her life.
Can you share a little bit more? You mentioned that actually she was really enjoying it.
Yes.
And what is it about that stage of life that made her enjoy it so much?
I think she just see period as something that is very troublesome because you cannot do a lot of things, and she have this kind of like syndrome that she felt like she was not feeling good. She would have headache and everything else, and that made her unable to focus on what she need to do. Yeah, so without all this, she was kind of enjoying having a mental pause.
That's actually a pretty empowering way to think about the stage of life, I would say. I think for my mom, when I started noticing that she was in her old age is probably when she started experiencing some of the changes to her body, probably when she was in her perimenopause and then eventually menopause. No matter how little she ate or how much she tried to exercise, she would still feel like she was gaining a lot of weight.
Right.
And I mean, we do know that it's because there's like a lack of estrogen hormone in her body that leads to that. And it's not something that changing diets or doing a lot of exercises could undo. And I think the other thing that I noticed was when she got a diagnosis of osteoporosis, which is when her bone mass density is really low. It is sort of classified as brittle bones. Thinking about your mom now in her 60s, what's one thing about her that inspires you?
I think it's how open and light she is. she doesn't really hang on to the past. So if something unpleasant happened and we discuss about this, sometimes she even she honestly forget about all this so quickly, like it never have happened before. So I love that about her, and I don't think I will be able to reach that stage, but this will be. I hope I will one day be like this when I'm in her age.
Our moms are really resilient,
Mm.
right? In a way that they can be really optimistic about the challenges that happen to them.
Yeah.
For my mom, before she reached her 60s, I think when she was dealing with perimenopause, I think there were a lot of symptoms of perimenopause that were very troubling for her, like hot flashes that she had at night and night sweats. Somehow she pulled through them, even though
I think maybe similar to my mom. So she think it's natural for her to experience all this. All women do. So it's okay if everyone can, been through this, she can also do it. And yeah.
I wonder whether there's like a difference in like Asian women's perspective towards this topic versus Western women. The reason why I had like this observation was because when it comes to materials or books about this topic of perimenopause and menopause, a lot of materials do come from the West. And it's a topic that gets talked about a lot more, I feel, in the West compared to over here. It's like what you said, people like our moms do feel like it's just part of life, and this is a part of how a lot of women would have to experience. And because their expectation is something that I have to work with, maybe it changes the way that they respond to them. How about struggles? What do you think are some of the struggles that our moms have at this stage of life?
I think for so much of their life, especially after marriage, right, our mom played this role of a good wife, a good mom, as we have been discussing. Now they are retired and the kids are grown up, and it feels like it's finally the time for them to reprioritize themselves first. But the thing is, they might already forgot how to do that, where they're no longer used to it anymore. So as daughters, of course, we want them to take good care of themselves. We want them to eat healthy, exercise. But a lot of our reminder for them might feel quite foreign. And we nag a lot about things. And they might got a little bit lost about what we've been telling them as well. I think one side is it's very hard for them to shift their mindset from this caregiver to the one being told what to do. And also on the other hand, it's just not easy to suddenly change habits they have been having for decades.
Actually, in fact, now that you mentioned this, it reminds me of something my mom did that I should have mentioned in the previous question about what inspires me. After my mom retired, sometimes in her 50s, she decided that she had to take care of her health to the best of her knowledge. So she signed up for a gym membership.
Oh.
And she has been with that gym until today. So that has been like, 10 years now? And one of the things that she did when she signed up for a gym membership is to learn how to swim. So she made it a point to learn how to swim, never really knew how to for her entire life, but managed to learn freestyle. And even though it was so hard for her, she was just determined that, okay, I just got to do this.
Wow.
And now she swims, I think, every day or every other day at the gym. And then on top of that, she picked up yoga.
Oh, something
my
mom gave up.
Something your mom has not been picking up lately. Yeah, but my mom has picked up yoga, and that has been pretty life-changing for her after retirement. But then for my mom, that is gonna be the max that she is willing to do. I had this conversation with my mom several times now about how resistance training would really help some of the issues that she's experiencing at menopause. And I think there's still a lot of mental barriers around this topic.
There is this kind of like program for elderly that you can sign up for in Taiwan. So what they usually do is you can work out together with a PT, once a week, and they will separate you into two groups. So the half of the participant will be doing stretches with the coach, and the other half will be using machines with the other coach. And they have this RFID card that you can sign up and also use to unlock the machine as well. So when tapping your card on the machine, you actually show up all your information, personal information, and there is a program, I think maybe assigned to different age group that you can actually follow.
I'm impressed. Okay, number one, how did you convince your mom to even give it a try?
I need to admit it was not me, it was my dad, actually.
How did he do it?
So he has been watching so many YouTube videos, and finally one of the YouTubers hit him. He decided to do something new. My aunts happened to invite them to try this program out together, so they just started.
Yeah, that was the second thing that I was very impressed with, which is this program that you guys have in Taiwan.
It was also the first time I heard about this after they signed up, and I asked about like how was the program, what do you usually do? Then this is also a new thing for me.
Is it from a private gym?
No, it's actually a government program, I think.
Amazing. And is the workout place somewhere that is near to your home, or do your
Actually,
parents
it's a
have to
bit
travel?
far for them, but they still manage to go there once a week. So
I'm very curious. So what is it that drives them to continue traveling such long distance to the gym?
I think in the beginning it's because of my aunt. They have a company, so they want to try out together. And then the coach there was also very nice. So they also got to meet some new friends there. So it's more of the community and also learning something new that is different from their everyday life, but not too hard to manage.
That would be fantastic. Because number one, resistance training is just so important for both men and women at that age. And then number two, there are a lot of special needs when we work with elderly gym goers. And yeah, having a dedicated space where they can exercise and build friendships, it's just an amazing idea.
Based on what my mom shared, right, the coach would also be sharing some of the theory behind each movement as well, so they know why they're doing such kind of things.
Wow, I really need to think about how I can learn from your example to convince my parents. My mom still has this impression that it's really painful, it's very tiring, and if she works with a personal trainer, actually her gym does have personal trainers.
Yeah.
If she works with personal trainers at the gym, they are gonna really force her to do a lot of difficult things.
I think that's the key difference, right? Because the entry barrier is just too high.
Yeah. The other thing is also time. Because even though now that she has retired and technically she no longer has to take care of me and my brother, she now has the responsibility of taking care of my grandmother, who is now bedridden after 2 falls that broke her hip. And my grandma was really dependent on my parents for round-the-clock care. So nowadays my parents had to split up their workout shifts, as they mentioned it. So my mom would go to the gym in the morning, and then my dad would go to the gym in the afternoon, so that there's always one person at home taking care of my grandma. So that's another reason she always cited as why she doesn't really want to take up additional training, because she still has to take care of my grandma.
Yeah, maybe she feels already tired enough.
It's another struggle that I got to see through her eyes. Emotionally, it's like back to child rearing days again, where a lot of round-the-clock care means that you can't really leave the house for such extended period of time, and you always need to keep an eye on my grandmother. And for my mom, it is a very stressful experience. I mean, she tried her best to do it because she thinks that it's her duty to take care of my grandma. Then, but at the same time, I can see that she sometimes does not cope well with it. I really feel for her, and I want to help in whatever way I can. But then at the same time, me not being there in the same country, not being in Vietnam, means that my support is very limited.
Right.
And even though my parents did consider having helpers to ease the load, but the arrangement did not really work out well, and they still find that they couldn't entirely trust another person taking care of my grandma. So in the end, they sort of still chose to again sacrifice their needs to take care of another family member.
I think that's not easy because they have been carrying this responsibility for so long that they just cannot let it go.
I kind of think that their generation don't really talk enough about this topic.
In my mom's generation, they mostly learn more about their body when they went to a doctor, when something felt off, right? So menopause is this huge and also brand new chapter every woman has to be through, but they didn't even talk about it with their own mom.
Right.
And not to mention there isn't other ways for them to get information. So I feel lucky that my mom actually shared her syndrome with me. So from a younger age, I kind of knew that this will be a stage I also need to go through. And now that I'm older and I can also get different sources of information and see how important it is to understand it and really get myself prepared to live a better life when I'm actually there.
Now that you have more information and you're a lot more aware about this future stage that eventually you would have to go through, does it make you feel worried about menopause?
Oh, for myself, not really. Yeah.
And why so?
I think I'm also partially being influenced by my mom. I do see it as something that will come and it is quite natural. What I cannot stop it from happening. So what I can do is to prepare my body so that it's in a better stage when it actually happens. I actually have more flexibility in terms of like living different lifestyles and being able to cope with it better.
I think for me, I do still feel worried about it at times.
Oh,
Just from a scientific perspective, like menopause is really when our bodies stop having periods for like 12 months consecutively. And with that, biologically, we do lose a very important hormone called estrogen in our body. And with that loss of hormone, it does bring a lot of issues to the entire body, like from our brain, heart to muscles and bones. It's something that makes me worried about how my future independence and quality of life would be.
yeah.
And a lot of the things that I want to do now is to also give myself a better chance of living a more independent life down the road. If you could give your mom one wellness habit to improve her quality of life now, what would it be?
So I mentioned about like her finally trying resistance training, right? But this program is only a 12-week program. So I hope that after the program, she can really still like keep it up.
What do you think would enable her to continue?
If my dad and also my aunt find something new, I think she is more open to try it out. So maybe I can also find something new. Gym specializing with like adult training, and I can introduce that to my dad and maybe to my aunt.
Do you think they are more open to having a personal trainer now?
They were kind of against this thought because they don't want me to spend money on it.
Now that they had a taste of what it's like to have resistance training and to work with trainers, I'm very curious to know what's their perspective going to be. For my mom, I would love for her to try out resistance training and to see how that would benefit her. I think some of her fears around resistance training being too difficult or it's going to be really tiring could also boil down to the kind of trainer that she has. And whether they could really tailor workouts that are suitable for her needs.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of debunking myth that needs to happen. And sometimes this does makes me feel very guilty because if I were at home,
then we can actually try all this with them, right?
Yes, I think I would have been more involved in trying to build a more active lifestyle with my parents. because I'm so far away, I find that it's quite limited in the kind of thing that I could do. Of course, I could offer financial support, but I think right now the mental barrier towards doing something new, it's really large for them. Now that we are closer to the age when our moms were, when they raised us, how do you think your view of your mom has changed?
I think it actually changed quite a lot because at my age now, the biggest stress I have is all about works. So I cannot imagine back then she was in the same age as I am now, but not just about work. She had the entire household to take care of. It just made me appreciate more.
That's true. I think at my age, she already had 2 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, juggling a
Cannot
job,
imagine
taking care of the
myself.
entire family. Already had a house.
Right?
Pretty much got a lot of things figured out. Then I agree with you. I also think that now that I'm closer to the age when my mom had me, I appreciate how difficult things were for her.
Because sometimes I still feel quite lost, but they already managed to make decision, like big life decision, and carry it through.
You know, sometimes the irony is for my parents' generation, when they told me about how it was back when they were younger, there were very few paths you could have chosen. My parents always had this saying, chasing boy, chasing girl, which is if the heaven gives birth to an elephant, then they will also make grass available.
Oh.
Meaning things will somehow work out.
Wow, such beautiful. Wow, it sounds very beautiful. Wow.
So I think that their mindset back then could be quite different. Because for us today, we had so many decisions and we have a lot of different priorities that we want to weigh against one another.
Right.
But for them, it was also expected that by a certain age, you need to reach a certain milestone. So they might not have thought a lot about, oh, should I have kids or should I have not have kids?
Right.
It's expected to have. It's kind of different.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate like how back in the days, it was not easy to sort of being thrusted into this position in life, being quite young, having to juggle career, family, responsibilities, and everything else. How do you think we as women in our 30s can take what we've learned from our moms and do better for ourselves?
I think what I learned from my mom is more like a reflection, looking at her life, and that makes me think about what I want for my own future. So I also would then want to understand what it will take to get me there. And just having that awareness is really the first step. And for the next generation, I think what we can do is exactly what we are doing now. We should talk about it. We should talk about these things more to make it supernatural or make it even common sense.
Sometimes I do need to prioritize myself in the sense that to make sure that, you know, I'm well.
Yeah.
I'm well first so I can take better care of everyone else around me, which is different take from my mom's generation, where they would tend to choose to prioritize everyone else's needs over their own, even at the expense of like their wellness. Some might say that, you know, it's very selfish thinking for our generation as well. What would you think about that perspective?
Yeah, we can say it's selfish, but we can only take care of other things in life when we are good, like taken care. So we need to ensure ourselves as an individual human being are well enough so that we can really try to do more for the rest.
And in your definition, what would being well mean?
I think it's a stable state where you're mentally and physically ready for everything that can happen next.
Before we wrap up, I'd like to leave us with this question. What's one thing you'd like to do more with your mom while you still can?
I want to take her to see the world, so travel more, just experience more different things with her. What about you?
I would want to have more conversations with her. Quite similar in a way that I also want to spend more time with my mom. With me being far away from the family, I talk to my parents once a week, but nothing really beats
Right.
being there with them in person.
Yes, I can totally relate.
Chelsea, this has been such a beautiful conversation. Talking about our moms always makes me a little emotional because it reminds me how much they give, often at the expense of their own well being. If there's one thing I hope you take from today's episode, it is this: women's wellness isn't selfish. Taking care of yourselves now, in our 20s, 30s, and beyond, is what allows us to live fully and care for those we love. Thanks for spending time with us on The Third Spring. If you enjoyed conversations like this, subscribe or follow to The Third Spring for more. And let's keep building a future where women thrive at every age.